For those of you who don't know, Bootie is from Greenville, South Carolina, a lover of life, a positive attitude, and quite an inspiration to so many people. And I am really excited for you all to hear from him today. So it is my pleasure to introduce to you Bootie Cothran.
To get up on slippery summit. This is just a diabolical obstacle. You have to jump that bar up and over this 24-foot track, landing on those cleats. And you can't see where you're going. You're flying blind. This is remarkable. One of the toughest obstacles we've ever had. And this 49-year-old is crushing it. To have someone make it past the 5th obstacle on the first run of the night, this is amazing. I'm going to tell you right now, Bootie wants a buzzer. What? Oh, man, I think he's about to get it. He's in there. He's swinging. He kept it close to the board. I think he's got it. One more. We can go for the gas now. He's got it. Look at that face. He can't believe it. Once 49 years old, your first shot at the walk wrong. To have our first runner hit a buzzer, this is unprecedented. Everyone in the stands on their feet. Can he do it? It's his first buzzer in 49 years of age. Our first runner of the night hits the buzzer. What a moment.
Hello, thanks for the invitation. I appreciate it. Well, yeah, cool. That video was was from season 10. Excuse me. That was 2 years ago, and yeah, that was my first time getting up the wall, getting to the wall. As I had never gotten past the 5th obstacle before to get to the wall, and so yeah, I worked really hard toward that, and that was a big deal accomplishment for me, especially at this point in my life. In the next episode, when I went to the city finals course, they included a portion of stuff that I had done out at Furman. I went out and worked out with the football team, and they highlighted the football team and stuff in some of that. So anyway, that was kind of neat to get that little Furman connection. But I've always been, I grew up going to Furman games and supporting Furman, and, you know, had a lot of family go there and stuff. And so, yeah, I'm always there and always enjoy it. But yeah, again, I appreciate the invitation. And I've just got a little short three bullet point presentation that I speak with when I go to places. And it's a lot of times geared, most of the times geared toward kids in schools. But the points are applicable to anybody. They're good reminders for anybody in any stage of life. And so I'm going to do a little screen share and jump over to my presentation here real quick. I just call this Bootie's 3 things to live a happy, healthy, and successful life. And they're very simple. 3 short things. First one, stay active. Or if you have stopped being active, this is the more adult presentation. If you have stopped being active, get active. But a key part of that for me is not just going out and working out and pumping iron and just to get fit, but to play, you know, to enjoy your activity, and do it with a playful attitude. Somehow in life, I've ended up with this kind of youthful mentality, and I just, I don't know. It's just something that kind of exudes out of me, and I love playing. I love having that kind of sense of wonder and adventure about life. So that one is a fun one. And unless you hadn't been playing for very long, you got to work yourself back into it. But yeah, keep playing. It's not just a physical thing, but it's a mental attitude about how you see life, I guess. Second one, challenge yourself. You know, when you're a kid, you take on all kinds of challenges. A lot of times you don't worry about the fear of failure. And then it seems like as we get older, we start worrying more about failure, and you know, every failure that we have is an education toward on the road to success. You know, I tell kids in schools, you know, there was a time when you couldn't tie your shoes and you fumbled around and you couldn't figure it out, but you didn't give up. You didn't just stop trying. You know, you failed and you failed over and over, and every time you failed, you learned what didn't work. And so you take those little bits of knowledge of what didn't work and apply them to what you're doing, and that ultimately leads to success. And so embracing those failures is what I try to encourage people to do. But most of all, challenging yourself, getting yourself outside of your comfort zone, trying something uncomfortable. And that's not something that we want to do typically. You know, we want to stay in our little comfort zone. And there was another thing that Simone was talking about, living out on having that property. I'm in another similar situation where out in Possum Kingdom, where I live, is this huge, I'm on a large piece of family land that goes back, way back. My grandfather was born in a house out there in 1897. And so it goes back way back. But I moved out there about 16 years ago, and I've got this, I'm just immersed in nature, and I've been able to see and watch nature do what nature does. And it amazes me to see how nature overcomes its challenges. There was a picture I posted just the other day on my Instagram feed of a tree. I was walking around on the property and I spotted this tree. It's a large tree, probably, I don't know, 12 inches or more in diameter. And the ground had fallen out from under it. Yet the roots had these 3 huge main root arteries that were going out and levitating itself over the ground that had fallen out underneath it. And it's just amazing to me to see all these examples of how nature gets hit with a challenge, an obstacle like that, where the ground literally falls out from under, and that tree manages to hang on and brace itself and is sitting there, you know, 10 years or more later, doing its thing. And so I see those examples all the time in nature. They're obvious everywhere in nature. And it's just a reinforcement of the fact that we're no different, that we've got creative solutions to problems. We can push ourselves beyond our comfort zones, beyond our what we're accustomed to doing, and challenge ourselves and overcome a lot of things that way. Last one's, I was going to say easy, but it's sometimes very, very difficult. It is easy in principle, in concept, but it's sometimes very difficult. Be kind. This is one that is, the ninja community is something that is really a good example of this, because we're not out there pulling against each other. As soon as I fall on an obstacle, I go back to my buddy who's about to run, or all my groups of buddies who are going to run after me, and I say, hey, wait a minute, don't approach it this way. That'll mess you up. Do this, you know. And so we give each other tips and tricks, and we're not out there to watch our competitors fail. It's us against the course. And so if I do great, they're all loving on me, and if they do great, I'm all loving on them. And it's an interesting and unique kind of camaraderie that is hard to find, if not impossible, in other sports. And so I've been extremely fortunate to have found Ninja Warrior at this stage in my life, at any stage in my life, but I sure wish it was around when I was in my 20s. I would have been all over it then. But was lucky enough to have kept myself in enough shape to where when I did discover it in my mid 40s, I was like, man, this is my sport. This is everything I've been looking for that I didn't have in high school or college. I was athletic in high school and college, but I never played any sports. I was just so small and felt like I was, I don't know, I just didn't have the sport that I needed, which was this, the thing that I could really excel at and have fun. It was just kind of my natural thing, swinging and climbing, and you know, I grew up climbing trees and swinging on vines in the woods and skipping across rocks and creeks. And so all that kind of stuff just kind of comes natural to me, and was very fortunate to find it. So that, again, 3 simple things: stay active, challenge yourself, and being kind. Those are the things that I thrive on, that I try to model and try to encourage others to do. Wow, I've just been, like I said, swinging and climbing on trees and that kind of thing all my life, and this obstacle course stuff just kind of really plays right into that. And so I've grown up doing that stuff, but I discovered it when I saw American Ninja Warrior when I was I guess about 44, 45, and as soon as I saw a clip of it on TV or internet or wherever it was, I thought, man, this is it. I got to apply. And I immediately went and started looking for applications and applied. And they were taking applications at that time for season 5. And I got a call back. And so, boom, there I went. I kind of competed off the couch, so to speak, as some people say it. I hadn't really done much training or preparation for it, because there's not a lot of stuff out there. And so people started building these things in their backyards, and you'd go to backyard competitions, and all your friends would come from all over, and that just kind of reinforced that camaraderie again. And now there are gyms popping up all over the country. And ironically, I'm sitting in our brand new Ninja Warrior gym right now, and I'll flip the camera around here just a second real quick, so you can see a little bit of our facility. We've got stuff that's on the show. All kinds of stuff. It's an amazing facility, and we've got some great partners that are with us, involved in us. And our grand opening was supposed to be March 21st, and that was right in the middle of the shutdown, right at the beginning of the shutdown. Everything shut down. So we fortunately had some good scenarios where our creditors and everything are working with us, and so we're fortunate in that regard, but we're looking forward to the time that we can open. But yeah, a lot of people will come to gyms like this now, and do training for that kind of movement. Here's one: how has your training changed from the first time to now? Yeah, the first time I competed, I had not done any kind of real training. Just stuff that being active out there in the woods and random things like that, but no specific training. And now I've got this facility. We've got gyms to go to, and I've built a lot of stuff in my backyard before the gym was even an idea, and a full-size warped wall in the woods behind my house. And so yeah, a lot of people just get creative with those kinds of things and build those backyard courses. There's a friend in Atlanta who's got a business now that he is going around to people, go to people's yards, and he'll build the course, build a Ninja Warrior rig, obstacle rig for people to the kids to play on. And that's another thing. The kids really gravitate to it. They're perfect for it because they're lightweight. They've got that upper body strength, or can develop it really easily at that stage. And so these gyms are typically filled with kids, taking classes and things like that. And so it's really cool to pass that on. Any age limit or gender matter? No, that's one of the cool things about it, is that everybody competes on the same course, whether you're male or female, or 18 years old or 51 or older. Yeah, it's the same course. If somebody's short, really short, they might give them a little box to stand on to reach the starting point of an obstacle, but that's it. Nothing else changes. So it's nice that everybody's on a level playing field like that.
I'm 47, long distance runner. I don't have a lot of core strength, but I got a lot of aerobic,
Mm-hmm.
At 4, I'm guessing, I was doing the math, you're 51?
Mm-hmm.
51. So what has been the key for you? Because at 47, I'm seeing my body starting to change, even though I'm running long distances. So have you found something to help you kind of counterbalance that, other than just continuing the fight?
Oh man, it's just having the mental fortitude of pushing through some of that stuff. I feel your pain, because when I first discovered Ninja Warrior at 44 or so, I felt like at that point, my body still felt like it was 25 years old. I felt great. And over the past few years, I have just seen the stuff happen and felt the stuff happening to me that everybody says was eventually going to happen. It just starts, wearing out, back spasms, arthritis, inflammation. I hate taking any kind of medicines for that kind of stuff, but there was a anti-inflammatory that was really helpful for me at one time, and now it doesn't quite help as much as it used to. But I try to avoid that kind of stuff, and the best thing that I can do is just keep eating healthy and trying to avoid the stuff that that you find that causes some of that inflammation or things like that. And trying and staying active and trying to train safer, stretching more, breathing more.
Are you finding yourself, do you use any supplements like, I know if you eat right, you get most of them, but I'm taking 2,000 milligrams of fish oil, cold press a day. Mm-hmm. And I've heard a lot about this beet, either the beet juice. You use any of that stuff for your endurance?
I have done some beet juice stuff, but I don't do it on a regular basis, but I've just done it before a competition, a little bit before a competition, but man, that stuff tastes horrible. I'm not a beet fan. So yeah, I don't do a lot of supplement stuff. Just the basic kind of maybe some vitamins and things like that, but nothing. I had a guy I met on a plane once going somewhere to a competition, and he sold that kind of stuff, little powdery things you put in drink. He sent me a bunch of samples, and I used them and here and there, but I don't know. I just never got a whole lot out of it that I felt was all that helpful for me. So
well, thank you.
It's just like just pushing back against age as best I can.
Well, you're an inspiration. Keep it up.
I appreciate it.
I can see Kelly doing something like this. He's getting ready to retire from the Highway Patrol. I'm thinking this is to go on your list. I could see that happening. And so Linda was asking, what's your next challenge?
Next challenge is getting this gym open. And it's coming soon. We're going to be opening on a smaller scale. Instead of just having our big grand opening, we're going to kind of ease into things on June 1st, having some smaller classes. We're not going to do our open gym stuff, but eventually, as things progress, we'll just work up to the point where we can. We're looking forward to finally having our grand opening one day. So that'll be a big bash event, and going to make it better than it was before. And ever since we closed, we've just been coming back to the gym every day and working and building new things and new obstacles, and it's pretty amazing. And we get some big drop jaws when people walk in here, and it's a little bit more than they were expecting. And so that's really nice to see and get those kinds of reactions. Yeah.
So we've talked a lot about your gym that you're opening and about your training as far as American Ninja Warrior. And are you? So I have two questions. One, are you planning to do it again?
So unfortunately, well, yes. That's the quick answer. Yes. I keep telling the producers I'm gonna keep doing as long as my body will let me, and as long as they keep it, letting me come back. So, this year, season 12 got interrupted because of the whole coronavirus thing. And myself and my two of my partners, Brett Sims and Grace Sims, who are also on the show, we all three got callbacks this year for season 12. And we were supposed to go compete in D.C. in April. All that got, of course, pushed off. And so now their official announcement right now is that season 12 is still on, just postponed and not canceled. And so we're just kind of waiting to hear back from them on what those plans are. But I imagine those logistics of finding a venue and the timing and everything, and it's just got to be a nightmare. But anyway, so they're saying season 12 is still on, and we've got our official invitations at this point. So we'll go with that.
So when you're not doing those things, there's something else that I think is very interesting about you that folks might enjoy hearing. You're also quite the musician.
Oh, well, thanks. I picked up the guitar when I was in, when was that, college? About my third year in college. And man, I wish I'd picked it up a long time ago because I just couldn't put it down. Once I kind of got my fingers under it and learned some chords here and there, my roommate taught me some chords and I just ran with it and just kind of became addicted to it. And so, yeah, I play around a decent amount and just kind of, I don't know. I used to go out and I used to play some open mic night kind of things just for the fun of doing that kind of thing. It's been a long time since I've done that. Yeah, I enjoy the guitar, singing. I do anything from James Taylor to Stevie Ray Vaughan, blues kind of stuff. I like that kind of stuff, and played with sat in one time with what's his name, Mac Arnold, local guy. But it's got a lot of old roots up in the Chicago blues area and stuff. He actually played the bass line on the Sanford and Son theme song, so that was fun. Anyway, so yeah, I play here and there and enjoy doing that as one of my hobbies.
As all of you on the call, I believe, know, of course, I'm turning 50 later this year, and we had this whole 50 for 50 thing that I'm trying to accomplish 50 new things that I've never done before. And I had promised Kelly and the folks at Catawba Valley that I would do their 5K this year, and darn it, that thing got canceled. So, but I'm not auditioning for American Ninja Warrior, let's be clear. But maybe there's one of those obstacles at Bootie's Gym that I could attempt as part of my 50 for 50. So
you would be surprised. Yeah, I would love to see. I mean, don't be afraid of this stuff if you've never done it, because people come in. We had Madeline Hackett, one of the reporters for WYFF, come in and do a little quick story on us one day, and she tried some stuff, and everybody goes into it thinking, oh, I'll never get this, and then they get it, and they're, oh, wow, let me try this, and then, and so it just kind of feeds your confidence. Yeah.
So in other words, everybody else accomplishes it and I'll be the one that falls on the ground. And so one other quick question, and then we're going to start wrapping up. Isaac had a question. You are a farmer. You farm at your property on your land.
I don't know if I would call me a farmer, but we do. The extent of my farming, quote unquote, is some light gardening that I do. And I've got some raised beds behind my house that I've grown some things like okra and tomatoes and cucumbers, and I like making my own pickles. I see some thumbs up there, yeah. And let's see what else. A little bit of lettuce. Those are the main things. I'm trying some peas this year. I like experimenting with that kind of stuff. And when I first got out there, I wanted to do a garden, and but I had no green thumb at all, and I failed and failed. That's another thing. That was another thing that I just failed for a few years before I started figuring out some things that worked and taking those failures and learning from them. And now I'm able to at least grow something that might give me a salad or two for for the season.
Bootie has a great YouTube channel as well, so subscribe to both of us. He's got some music on his. He's got some Ninja Warrior videos, some great things. And I just think that this is a message that we can all relate to, even though it's not us personally. He inspires us to try to be better and do more, and that's what Rotarians are all about. So I'm grateful. Bootie, thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for the invitation, and feel free, I see the email is in there. Feel free to shoot me a message on email or social media, and yeah, ask me anything you need, and look forward to seeing y'all.
We're all in this together. Remember, Rotary responds. Please don't forget to send your contributions to CART for Alzheimer's research, or to Rotary International for the annual fund, or polio or disaster relief response. All of those things are still very, very important. And I appreciate you all more than you know. And I thank you for joining us today. And I look forward to seeing you all again, either online or here next Wednesday. Mwah. Thank you, guys.